What would you do if the love of your life happens to be your brother or sister? Take a look at this video with an open mind.
While looking at photos on my phone, I showed him a picture of my dad. He looked scared and then told me that the man in the photo was also his dad. This meant we had the same father. It was shocking and upsetting, and I didn't know what to do. Imagine dating someone and then finding out he is your brother. I loved him so much that my feelings didn't change, especially since he was already my husband and I was pregnant with his child.
We can't leave each other. It's not our fault, baby. Understand that.
We are siblings.
And not only that, they are even expecting a baby.
Each other. It's not our fault, baby. Understand that.
We are siblings.
And not only that, they are even expecting a baby.
Now, this is very strange, bro, especially in the African setting, because, like they said, how they met in school, and the problem, they are blaming their parents for not actually bringing them up. But if you watch very well to these two people, you see that sorry to say it, but these are two abnormal guys.
Now, I feel that it has a lot to do with parental upbringing.
Yeah, but they've known, yes, you can blame the parents. But now, you now know the truth that two of you are related. You have the same father.
You see, the only thing there is this. From what we just saw, these guys, they've gone too far, according to the impression they gave us.
What too far have they gone to?
I know a baby is involved. This is something you really need to consider.
Yes, according to the boy,
okay,
that a baby is involved. That's what he's saying. Don't know how illegal it is in Kenya, but from what he's saying, the baby is involved. That's why he's continuing with it. Now, does it mean that when you find out that something is wrong, you continue on that wrong path because maybe a baby is involved?
I think this one is entirely different. What would you have done if you were in their shoes? Would you have gone for abortion?
But at least for now, they should have stopped.
Because looking at the circumstances of their meeting, both of them, they met in the university.
Yes.
And before anybody could say Jack, they were already madly in love. I know this is why I always say things like this. There should be a certain age limit before one can say, I'm entering into a relationship.
Okay, because you feel that you're infatuated because somebody not being able to control yourself when you're in love and not being
That's
able to
the thing now. Look at their age.
But
for crying out loud, the girl is 19, the guy is 21.
Let me be clear with you. There's something wrong with two of them.
Okay.
Maybe because of the upbringing. You can see it from looking at that guy. Because, see, for the fact that two of you are related, that is another factor to read that even if it will affect that feeling you have. Do you understand? Just imagine that third factor will make a normal person with every sense. You just...
Now, that's the problem. That's the problem. See, I just feel that this whole thing is messed up. Now, it has a lot to do with parental upbringing, the society, their definition of love. You know, this is why when I see people asking, should I enter into a relationship or is there a particular age one should enter into a relationship? I'm of the school of thought that there should be a particular age limit for relationship. Because you can't tell me you are telling us that you people are madly in love. Do you even know the definition of love? What is love?
There is something wrong with both of them, and you can blame the parenting, but they are the adults. Anything they do now, because they are adults, and that's why they are taking the decision they are taking. And then they should also know, because they are adults, anything they do now, you understand? Because the guy is claiming that he's an adult, so there's nothing any person can do, there's nothing he can do about it. But he said the first day they met, he cried. Like the first time he noticed that.
Yes. When he discovered that the sister, that the girlfriend, or rather the wife, they're not married. The wife to be happens to be his sister. He said they cried and they got heartbroken. But you know, normal thing, after the tears, they will still have made love.
And they continued.
And they still continued with the relationship.
These are two persons without a very core sense of what is wrong and what is right. And then you can say that these people were not properly taught. Because I can't imagine a young boy who was taught about these kind of things and you grow up. Sometimes when you see people are related to you, you run away from them.
You know, I asked you a question. Now, what would you have done if you were in their shoes and a baby is involved?
At least you stop.
And then what happens to the baby?
Okay,
what
will you
becomes
say-
of the baby?
Well,
Are you in
at least
support
for
of
now, you
abortion?
don't. No, I'm not support of that, but at least for now, you stop what you are doing. So if you can be separated, and then
Okay.
let's say you can control what has been damaged.
Okay.
You understand? You
Okay.
can't say because you have the right. Okay, there is something Julius Malema said one day. Asked because of this extreme people can do anything they want to do because it's their right. You understand, to do whatever. And he asked the reporter. Now, for example, you want to go to bed at night and your wife says, honey, I'm coming to the bedroom today with a knife, a cutlass. And you ask her, for what, honey? He said, that's what I want to do. Will you allow that? And he said, no, you won't allow that because for your own safety self, you won't allow that. Although it's her right. She has not acted. It's her right to come with cutlass. But you as your husband, you say, no, honey, no, we have to take care of this. That's what he said. And everybody started laughing. But that's the truth. There is a limit to this is what I can do. It's freedom. I have the freedom to do whatever thing I want to do. This is wrong. There's no sense to what is right. And you know, there are a lot of people interested in this case. There are a lot of people who are supporting them in what they are doing.
Sure. Many people are of the school of thought that people should be allowed to marry whosoever they deem fit. And now, looking at what the young people were saying, looking at what the guy was saying and what the lady was saying, now these people, they've actually come to that conclusion that nothing can be done. And you know, it's as if they want to blackmail people with the entire pregnancy
Yes.
and the boy's
then the
medical
parents.
condition. No, I think they are using three things: the boy's medical condition, the pregnancy, and the fact that their father happens to be wayward. He had two families. So they are trying to use that. And the funny thing, many people are buying into it.
The father was wayward, at least controlling himself from going into what is abominable and in the society. At least he was doing his own in terms of being. But then now,
how is his father's action not abominable? Now you might be thinking, whatever I'm doing, I'm not hurting anybody at the moment. But you don't know what will happen in future.
let me be clear with you guys.
Okay.
This is a very unusual case, and the two people involved in this situation are not normal. Let me bring something to your notice. Before you go into a relationship with somebody to fall in love with the person, at least when you see somebody and you say they've moved in, even before you discovered where the person is from.
Because we had already committed incest, and I was so worried about what so many people were going to think, all my relatives, and what my mom was going to think about that.
Definitely, this guy is not normal. Okay, how can you start dating somebody to the extent that if you are living together, you don't know where he's from? You understand?
But you know,
You
this is a normal thing that happens in the universe.
It's not normal.
Now, let's be sincere. Do you know that parents are not aware that some of their daughters will collect money from them? Mommy, I'm paying for lunch. Unknown to them, they will give their boyfriends the money. You've been to Nigerian institution.
No,
you know what happens there. You know what is obtainable.
Wait.
There is no way we can just pretend that this is not the normal thing.
No, it's not normal.
No, in institutions. In Nigeria.
Okay, you want to tell me that averagely, what's the expectation of somebody to even ask about the person?
What are you saying? We are talking about what people are doing. For instance, people in secondary school, they've started going into relationships. Who is asking, where are you from? Choma, are you from? Amina, where are you from? No, people don't care. Even in institutions, you are seeing it. I've seen it many times. They call them living couples. You see a girl, you send your daughter to the university. She's living with a man, and you don't even know. Parents, how many of them know where their children are living? Their lodge, how many of them can wake up one morning and call their daughter? Maybe their daughter's name happens to be Happiness. Happiness, I'm coming to your lodge today. And they will carry their things and go to Happiness Lodge and spend 2 days or 3 days. That's the problem. Because going to our institutions, you will discover that what they did is not something, how do I put it? It's not something out of the ordinary. Or rather, it's not something that has never been heard of before.
Okay.
Now, but where I would blame them is this. Now, it's not as if I'm in support of students living together. I'm not in support of, because one, you were sent to the institution for the acquisition of knowledge and skills and the rest. Now you don't have any right going to the institution, and then what you ended up doing there is to find a girlfriend, and you didn't even end there. You invited her to your house, and you people started cohabiting. And even in the Western world, you and I know that they don't even frown at cohabitation.
Yes.
Cohabitation is a normal thing.
I think they're even encouraging it.
Sure.
Now, also, you must acknowledge that their parents are not supporting what they are doing.
No, they are.
No, the guy said initially the mother was not in support, but I think she's the only one trying to even listen to them.
No,
Because people that
the guy's mom is in support now.
But is there nothing?
The guys,
Is there nothing that
only
could be
people
done
that
about
kicked
that?
against it.
Is there nothing that could be done about that, like legally and otherwise?
No,
They are setting a very bad precedent, because when they succeed in doing this, there are others. We know the society. There are people who cannot boldly say, but there are people who are not seeing the feeling for, or even who are sleeping with their cousins,
yes,
or even their brothers.
Yes,
I've heard stories of even men sleeping with their children.
It happens.
Yeah, every time, and most of them cannot come out because of the societal.
It happens.
And something like that.
It happens. I once heard a story of a father that was sleeping with the first daughter, and then the day he wanted to sleep with the second daughter, it was when the first daughter raised an alarm and told him, "Daddy, boy, you've been sleeping with me and I've never complained. So why do you want to start the same thing with my younger sister?" That's how she raised the alarm, and the entire neighborhood gathered. Now, this is the problem. But I feel that already we have, under the Marriage Act and the Matrimonial Causes Act, we have statutory backings against such things. You will see provisions where they have things like one cannot marry someone that is related to that person. That's under consanguinity. Then they are checking affinity, things like consent and the rest. Now, these are some of the things I feel that society should talk about. Just like you said, there are many people not seeing this ambition. It's just like,
and if this guy is allowed to progress with their plan, because he's talking about getting married. Meanwhile, I think if this thing will happen in Nigeria, the marriage will not actually happen. Let's take our own tradition, for example, like
if this were to be in Nigeria, they would have that young man and the girl. That's my opinion.
It would be very hard for them to validate themselves.
Yes.
It's very hard for them to survive. Survive the heat of.
Yes, they would have gone to their village, burnt their houses, and then ostracized them. Both parents, that's both the boy's mother and the girl's mother.
No, but now the guy is talking about them, told them getting married.
That's the problem. And
is it going to happen?
And the funny thing there is he's even asking people for financial aid.
Yeah, they
and
should.
Just like I told you, it's as if he's blackmailing people with his health. You know, he said he's epileptic. Now, it's as if he's blackmailing people with his health, and then the fact that his father did not play the role of a father.
Now, I think there is a conspiracy there, because that video you watched, the guy flew all the way from US.
Story of these young people, Brian and Briana, is truly sad. Instead of their families supporting them and helping them understand their mistakes, they were the first to abandon them.
The guy is definitely in support of what they are doing.
Yes, because you know there was a part where he says something that they are trying to fight against the societal views.
The societal views, yes.
No. These are our norms.
They don't care about those kind of things. But those kind of things can happen in America. You'll be in jail. Because he said it's an offense in America.
And when you go to all these Islamic nations,
so you don't dare it.
You are gone.
Yeah, you don't dare those kind of things.
They frown at it.
And in most of the Western nations, you cannot actually go that. But let's see, this we also have to blame parents, because if these guys were properly brought up,
yes,
it is also one of the issues we talk about when you have all these polygamous family. Because if these guys were brought up in a nuclear setting, this kind of thing won't happen. These are the advantages of all these polygamous people preaching polygamy. Because there's no way, if you are brought up under the same roof and your father always tell you this kind of thing will not happen. For you to go to a school.
I feel this one is even different from polygamy, because polygamy, you know your sisters, you know your brothers.
And some of the modern polygamy now, what they do is that most times
they'll hide the wife, the second wife somewhere.
They are apart, even cities or countries or sometimes continents apart. One is leaving this place, so the man ends up visiting this one, he stays this place, stays that place, because because of staying in one house, the quarrels of polygamy and all those kind of things. So they end up staying apart. So you may not actually, but in those ones, maybe sometimes you know the names of brothers,
Children, siblings,
yes,
and
or
the
siblings.
rest.
So you may not actually have been with them, but at least you see their pictures and you see them.
I feel that society, we need to speak out and speak up. We need to stand out and stand up to this menace.
No, it's a product of poor parenting. Like
Even if it's a product of poor parenting, now the society can still help.
well, the guy is definitely very clear. The guy is on something very
The
high.
society can still help. He's not on anything. I just feel that we are not doing enough. The society is not doing enough.
What do you want to do?
Now there should be massive sensitization, education. Now this is why when I see parents frowning against sex education, I laugh. Now they don't know that when you teach children about some of these things, your children, you help expose them, you help open their mind,
protect them from.
and that's the thing. You help protect them from things like this.